Yay, we're live. Yay. Yay, we're live. So, today is... 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 Yay, we're live. So... Well, let's see if that stopped. Let me see my Twitch channel again.
Again, I'm pretty sure that card has peaked.
So, forgive me, but it's been like 2 or 3 years since I streamed. But it's been like 2 or 3 years since I streamed. But it's been like 2 or 3. There we go. So, hello everybody. Last time I streamed games. I haven't streamed games in a long time. I'll set that up eventually. And I have literally like less than an hour before I have to go to work, because it took me like 5 hours to figure out how to set this all up. Not because I'm stupid, just because it's changed so much. So anyway, today's tutorial, or not tutorial, you're just going to paint with me. The first thing I'm going to do is some water, obviously. Stupid flies. What has been with the flies this year? I'm like, it's just been crazy. So anyway, I am getting out my stuff, and I have... Why is this upside down? No, it's not supposed to be upside down. So... yeah, that's weird. That works. Okay, that was weird. So, first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is rinse my brushes, because they're brand new, and so celebratory, we have to start a channel, obviously. So, I am in a watercolor group that does weekly challenges, and I spent a long time before I actually joined them and started. So what I have before me is a piece of craft plywood. I don't always use this. Usually I just tape right here. But I was talking about a method of stretching paper. And so you can get this for like $1 at Walmart. It has a nice little bevel to it. It's kind of cute. I glued craft felt to the back so that it wouldn't scratch my desk and surfaces, but you don't have to. The other thing I do to stretch without tape is I use these little clips. And so... yeah, so I'll stretch the paper, and you'll see in a minute. The first thing I have to do, obviously, is get the brand new brushes out and rinse them, because I'm sure they've got sizing and whatnot in them. And normally, before I start painting, I wash the brushes with soap and then let them sit and dry overnight so that it shapes them better. So anyway, the group I'm in, the owner of the group recommended these brushes for a cheap yet decent kind of brush. I was going to buy the sapphire set, I just don't have the money for it. So this one is called Daler-Rowney Simply Simmons set, and this is the wash mop brush set. So we have a 3/4 round mop, a 1/2 inch flat wash, and a 1/2 inch mop. And then to that, and I do have other brushes, they're just in the other room right now, and I'm being lazy, because I was making a brush roll, and we'll get to that in another video. So this is the Simply Simon value set, and this is a 1/2 inch, so I've only got 2 1/2 inch mops, or 2 1/2 inch washes, a 10 inch round, a 4 inch round, and a 5/0 round. I have no idea how to say that. So it's supposed to be decent, she says, for starter brushes. I know the Crayola set was what I was using, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I will use them in a different video. and let you guys see. So we're just going to test out the brushes today, and we're then going to work on a challenge. As you can see, I have my 2 challenge inspirations. This week's challenge in the group is clocks, and I'm going to take that a step further and see if I can make some clocked stockings with literally drawing a grandfather clock on there. So I'm not really good at drawing. I used to be. I haven't drawn in years. You know, life, kids, whatever gets in the way. So anyway, let's rinse the brushes because they have obviously some sizing in them. And what I have here is a yogurt cup, so a glass yogurt cup. You can get these almost in any store. It has like coconut yogurt in it because I am allergic to dairy. And I'm just going to wash that real quick. And what I have inside here is a facial exfoliator you can get in the makeup section. I had inspiration from another thing. And now I don't push the bristles into it. I use it to scrape the bristles out like that. So, and this eventually will be one of my mop cups. So we're gonna wash this one. Oh, I like that they're not, the bristles aren't coming out. So this is a big problem I have with the ones I have. Like, you do this and you just have mop water filled full of bristle stuff. And to be honest, this water's not the cleanest. I literally took it out of the cup of ice water I got from Sonic last night because I like their water. Mostly I like it that they have nice ice. It's probably not clean. Who cares? This feels clean to me. You can see this one has the sizing to give it the shape, so it's hard. Gotta get it in there, get it wet. There we go. Oops. More sizing. That was bad though. Oh, I really like that. Look at how nice and clean that is. So nice and clean. And what I mean by that is that the bristles come to a nice taper and they're not all flayed out, and when I snap it, it snaps right back. Look at that nice taper on that. Now, I've only been painting since January, and I've not drawn in 20 something years, since high school, so yeah. My husband decided to take up drawing, so I was like, hey, I should get crafty too. Not that sewing and embroidery isn't crafty. There's a piece of sticker on here. I really like that these handles are like plastic and not wood. I feel like the wood ones would like soak up too much stuff. It's probably pretty clean enough. And I'm going to dump this to get all that sizing stuff out. There we go. And some clean water. And now, in addition to that, I mean, I have my old dirty bottle, but it was just too small. So I have a clean rinse bottle. You can see it says rinse. It's just for clean rinsing. Why that's backwards, I don't know. The horizontal. Oh look, the text is right now. Haha. Yeah, I got it right. So hopefully this is like working, and I don't see, yeah, no comments. Oh well. So I also have clean water bottle, as you can see. And put the caps back in there. And I kind of do these because the cats then can't drink out of them if they try to get on my desk. And now because we're going to use this later to wipe our brushes on, we're just going to, this is a paper towel roll cut in half. It works better than tissues. So I'll dry that off. So clean it a little. I probably won't do the tutorial right now because I do have to go to work, so we're just going to get out our stuff and play with it for a little bit. And then after work, before I go to lunch, I'll try to get to the tutorial. But we're just going to put our brushes over there. I need to... Yeah, it's a little bit better. I need more distance on the camera, and I'll certainly fix it eventually. We're going to pour our clean in our rinse waters. And I only pour enough so that it doesn't reach past the bristles, because we don't want it to get up in the barrel. And we have new paints, brand new paints. I splurged. I really shouldn't have. Our budget couldn't fit it, $30. But, you know, I was really happy with my old Van Gogh set. And these haven't even been opened. Like, that's how new they are. So, here's my old Van Gogh set. Or new, because I've only used it once. But I am really pleased with the colors. Really pleased with the colors compared to all the other sets I have. And we'll probably this next week, I'll just swatch all my colors again on camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm really new, so I probably sound like a stupid airhead, but whatever. I also have this Crayola box set, and I had another one in addition to this, but I just can't find it. I don't know where it went. Then I have this not Royal Langnickel. This is the Michael's artist brand, whatever it was. I'm sure there's a thing here. Yeah. So, and then I have a pearl set. I think there's 1, 2. They keep coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28 pearls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 36 of the regulars. The problem I have with them is they're very chalky, and then they don't want to move in the water. So like if you do a wash and you want the water to spread the color, they just kind of, most of the colors just sit there, and I actually have to physically move them. And by the time you do that, you wind up working the paint too much. But I will try again on better paper, because I'm told that's the difference. I don't have better paper yet, so, you know. And I also have, oh yeah, that's the brand, it's Artist Loft. This is not a paid promotion, I'm just showing what I have. This is their watercolor tube set, and now when I try to put this in a palette and let it dry like other people say they do, it was hard as a rock and I couldn't get the water back into it. So when I do test this out again, I was told to add glycerin to it, but I'm going to wait till I also have pearlescent media, because I would like to pan of these colors in pearlescent media. And then I have a Gogh set, which I have not opened yet. But Gogh is like used to, like, from what I understand, and the reason I want it is to add details later, so the details are thicker or darker colored, or deeper colored, I should say. So yeah. And I have this cheap $5 Michael's palette. This is what I put the Artist Loft colors in. You can see it didn't come quite clean. It was okay. Then I bought this pin and gear set, which I haven't put any in. I'm just trying to decide if this is what I want to use for Gouache, but I heard Gouache molds, or blah blah blah. And I might just use it to make my own colors with using makeup. So anyway. And then of course my husband bought me this travel set, which I've used on previous things. It's okay too, I mean, like, but it gets wet and then it peels and it sticks to the pan, and but it has its purpose. I mean, it came with a water brush, and then he, like a champ, bought me like another whole set of water brushes. So it's mostly, I think, for being able to go outside and doing stuff like painting flowers outside, and there was a tutorial in Domestica that I was gonna do that's plant-based, but when I started it, it was winter, and the guy was like, yeah, plants are great, you can go out any time of year and paint them. I'm like, it's snowing. I have no plants, I just have snow. So yeah, snow and some dead trees. So yeah, anyway, these brushes I'm not happy with, but I was going to use them for the Gogh set. You can see even with conditioning them with soap, you can see what I'm talking about compared to these beautiful brushes, how they're very fuzzy. And this is after a soap treatment. Before the soap treatment, they would just like spread everywhere, and I was just unhappy. But I think they're supposed to be, yeah, they're sable, that's why. And I wasn't happy with them. So, but maybe after I learn more. Anyway, so yeah, we need this one. And I also have, you know, watercolor pencils. I had a whole set of aquarelle, I don't know how to pronounce, but my teenager got into my art supplies and took them all. And I was pretty upset about that. I have one left. I have like a green one, and I can't find the rest. And I know where they were, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's not like our house is a mess. I'm like really tidy. So my husband bought me 2 of these as well, and I can't wait to try them, but do you see they don't fit into this little palette I have? And also I want some more practice under my belt before using them. So what we have is this stupidly cheap paper. This is the Canson artist paper from Walmart. And this is what I've been using. So when we test this out, we're just going to use this. And my first paper was this mixed media because I was stupid and I got mixed media. And so you'll see that I did some really, really bad color swatches. And yeah. So, I mean, so you see what I was talking about, the Artist Loft? It's really chalky, and actually just, it feels like you're rubbing your hand on chalk. There's the Pearl set, which is better. It has a bit of gloss to it. So I think this one, Artist Loft, needs some more gum arabic to it, which I have yet to buy because I can't afford it. This is the pencils, how they turned out. They're also really chalky, but there is a pencil medium you can get to help flow the colors of regular watercolor pencils. So I figure if I just use that, maybe it'd make these better. But you can see where it left a lot of texture. I have Crayola erasable colored pencils that are supposed to be with water, and I burnished them with alcohol, which really did spread the paint a lot. And then here's my first practices without any courses. This is before I watched any tutorials or anything. I just, yeah. So now this is my drawing book, which obviously chuck it in the bin. So we are going to swatch this, and I don't have any of my stencils around because I was in the middle. See, sometimes I stencil. I was in the middle of switching out the teenager's old room into an art room now that he's moved out, which it's 1.5 years and I still haven't done. So, Amy. So anyway, we're gonna swatch this because I have literally like 27 minutes before work, and thankfully I work from home. So we're not gonna use a mop, this beautiful mop brush on the wood. Instead, we're gonna use this. Now normally I have, yes ma'am. You know how to get down off the bookcase. I just watched you do it. Excuse her, she's getting old, senile. So, what I do, and I usually have a bigger brush, but I think I used it for acrylic paint so I could paint something, and you can see it soaks up the water really well. But what eventually happens is you get enough water on here that it helps keep your paper wet for longer, according to a tutorial I saw. I wasn't really happy with it, but I've done this to stretch paper, which I'm told stretching paper makes it hold water better, so we're gonna try it. Let me just keep swatching that. You have a nice sheen on there, and it soaks it up really well, which it'll soak it up from the paper too if you don't do this first. This next trip to the store, I'll get a bigger one of these, better one of these. This feels pretty good. And then we're going to wash the back. We're going to move this out of our way. Wash the back of this. And if you see any stuttering problem with the stream or anything, please let me know. So you can see it's starting to soak up, it's starting to curl, and that is what you want. Nice and wet. And then we're just going to paste this basically to here, and then mop it with our good brush so we don't ruin any of the sizing on the front. You can see it curls it right back down. And you don't want to do this too much to the front because it will ruin the sizing and then the paper won't react how you're supposed to. So you see how it's nice and soaked? And you're going to give it a good wash, a good soak. And you see it's nice and wet. And at this point you could go ahead and start painting if you wanted to. Or you could just let it stretch. And I don't clip it yet because it still needs to stretch. So I'm gonna what I do is peel it up, run the water off, set it back down. So it's not, you can feel it's still a little dry, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's got like a fabric texture. So if you are using cheap paper like I am, this can and will help your paper feel better. Now you can get these artist clips. It took me a long time to get these because Walmart literally like puts one out at a time, I swear. So it took me months to get them because I couldn't buy them all at the same time. So to stretch the paper, then I'm just going to clip it on each of the 4 sides. And the only reason I'm not using this to do our test today is because we need the water to stay in the bounds and we're not doing a wet on wet painting. So just leave that like that. Now as it dries and the water shrinks out of it, this will pull the paper open. We're just going to set this aside because even if you were painting with it, you need to give it a good day or even overnight to finish soaking. So I'm just going to set this aside and dry this off. Dry it off so the tape sticks to it. And we got this placemat at Walmart for like $2. So it's worth it. These are worth it. Keeps your stuff clean. Now we're going to grab another piece of paper. I can show my other attempts to try. So I have this, which these actually look better in person, but they're still like my drawings subpar. That was my first test doing wet on wet. This was another wet on wet. This is a dry and really harsh paint. See, it looked more like a gouache. This was wet on dry and then spread with wet. It was a technique I was watching in a tutorial. There's just some paper for today. And I think there's one more. Okay, so there's been two painting challenges I've done in the group. So I did this one, and I did this one. The butterflies. Last week was balloons, and I did this. And then I tried to turn my black paint into a gouache, but it wasn't working. But yeah, that's a hand-drawn balloon. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm not very good at this, so this is not a tutorial. This is just me running at my mouth in hopes for help in art supplies. I don't know. So next, we're gonna wet the back. This is to keep it from curling up. Because see, now it's curling forward instead of backwards. We're going to gently lift that up and dry this off again. Then grab some painter's tape. I have no idea who that was. A couple of my friends are really sick, so after I'm done taping this, I'm going to check the message. Now you can see we have a sort of sized paper, and almost. So I really need to get a boomstick for this room. I have a boomstick in the other room, but I don't want to take it off the desk. So there's a boomstick for your camera, and it's like what you think. It's instead of having a, I don't know. So what I have it now on is I have my camera hanging on a light, and so I'm just adjusting the arm on the light, which is one of those metal things that twists. It's just weird. Oh yeah, that's text now, so it's probably spam. And now okay, you can now see, you can see it's buckling. That's where it's been stretched, and it has nowhere to go. So you can see the buckle right there, but you don't want to touch it at this point, because then when you touch it, the sizing pulls up. So I literally just have to kind of let that set. There, it's stretching out. Pull it up real quick, give it a little tug, put it back down. Get rid of that buckle. The main thing is that whenever this is pinned down, when it shrinks back up, it'll have been stretched out for you. Alrighty, first thing we need is, let's see we need a ruler. So there's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 colors, that's right. And I need a pencil. Orby should do it. Paper is buckling slightly because it's wet underneath. We're just going to ignore that. You see the buckle. And that'll cause problems, so give me a minute. Two, three, four. That's 12 colors. Gummed eraser. Get rid of all those other lines. I realize it's not centered, all that jazz. I plan to get some kind of ruler or stencil that does this, but for now, can't read the paper. You know that. Can't read the paper. And if ever this isn't picking up lines for you, you just need it a little. Get some sticky side going. Also press it into the paper a little bit and we'll pick it up out of the things. It's good enough. So what we're going to do now is we see the paper's buckling because it's wet, and that's my fault for being stupid and pinning this too early, and that's really why we don't tear up the tape off the paper. And I know there's some kind of water tape you can get. We're making do. We're poor folks. We are poor folks. If we have just come in our lifetime, after 10 years of being together, to be able to afford groceries and pay bills at the same time. And thankfully, soon, our one car will be paid off, and that will take a huge chunk of our budget off our plates. So, keep buckling. Unbuckle, sir. Unhand the buckle, sir. And the thing is, it's already soaked up the water, so it's pretty dry on the back. There. I did buy some black paper to test these paints with, but it is not here yet. But we are looking forward to it in another video, because I will certainly go play around with the other paints we have. So anyway, now we have 10 minutes left. I'll just be late for work. So this is number 800, and it's silver. What I like about my old set, my old palette, is that, where'd you go, my old palette? There we go. The thing that came with it, instead of being in these little individual packages, it came with this plastic thing covering it, which was really handy because now I know what the colors are. And then of course, these kept coming out, so I put a little bit of double-sided tape underneath them. Anyway, really happy with the Van Gogh set. So it's as inexpensive as student quality sets, but it still has a lot of pigment in it. So yeah, it's not enough space. There we go. So this is silver. Beautiful color, look at that. So we're just going to find a flat wash brush and dip it in, well, but it's still clean water right now. Oh, that's so beautiful. See if we can get more pigment. I know you can't really see it on camera, but it is so sparkly. Like, just really, really picks up the light and just shimmers. Well, that's the silver one. And I like that they're labeled on the edge. So I can keep these somewhere. And rinse. Dry. The next color is Deep Gold 803. And so before I begin painting, as well as I degrease my hands because I'm constantly touching the paper, and if you get any oil on the paper, you will risk it not sticking. So I just degrease it with a little bit of lens cleaner. I just mist my hands with lens cleaner, and it's worked so far. So, oh, look at that beautiful paint. And I know it's a shimmer color, so it's mostly mica and not actual pigments. We're just going to work this a little bit because I want to pick up a lot of color from this. I really love this brush. Alright. Oh, rinse again. This color is Interference Yellow. It is number 844. Once again, there are no sponsorships in this video, no affiliate links. I don't have any of that set up, so you don't have to worry about that. I am too busy doing it for a client right now, but okay, so what I'm getting is this is an iridescent color. I'm going to just grab a little more water. So it's like transparent, but there's like this shimmer of yellow. You can kind of see it in the video. Yeah. It's really pretty. And I do think it'll do what I was planning on doing with it. Mind my freckles. 805, and this color is Copper. Ooh, that's so pretty. I put it a little heavy because I just really love this color. So I'm probably going to cut out the labels and paste them inside of the box so I can have a kind of list. So this one's 845 and it's Interference Red. Which probably means it's another transparent color. I mean, they're all kind of transparent, but you know what I mean. Oh yeah, that's really iridescent. I'm gonna grab some cleaner water. Yeah, it's just not going to show on my camera, I don't think. But if I could describe what's going on the paper, I know it says red. It's kind of a bluish undertone. Then it has this really, like you can almost see it in the palette, it's like a fish scale. It's really pretty. So yes, this is obviously what I wanted. These ocean paintings I want to do, these flower paintings. Whole new depth to them. Right? This is 811. Because this is kind of awkward because the palette just isn't like this. So I'm going to put this one here. The palette, these two are missing and there's extra section here. I should have just done that. Or tactically I can because I have this extra space over here. And I'm not keeping this anyway. So we're going to do 811 here. And this one is bronze. It's really pretty. I'll definitely swatch these this afternoon when my paper gets here, or tomorrow. So it's like a mix. Bronze is like a cross between copper and gold. It's really pretty. And another thing I like about painting with iridescent colors is they make the water so sparkly. It's like a really interesting experience. And so this next color is number 846. And it is Interference Blue. So it's like the Interference Red, except this has that blue shine to it, you can see. And some plain water. I can't even see this, and it's not coming up off the thing. Let's see if I can grab some more water. So I can kind of see like it's yellowish tone. Oh, it's coming off on camera. To me, there's nothing there. Like that's blank, but it's got to be like the light. So now you can see the colors showing up. That's fantastic. Clean the brush again. Wipe my fingers again. This one is 840. Graphite. Oh, that's so pretty. Got some clean water. Ooh. Ooh, that's so pretty. Oh, forgot to call it the color. So this is 847 and it is violet, or interference violet. So just like the red and the blue, this one has a really pink overtone. So interference is more like, if I can explain it, it's like iridescent. So see, I can't even see that on the paper. There's like, it looks like I painted just water, swatch of water. But when I look on the camera, you can kind of see, obviously it's more water. So this is 802. And this color is called light gold. Alright, let's get some water. So shimmery. So my plan is to use shimmer colors to highlight like light and the shine on things. So not to like to use it as the color medium of itself, but to add the accents where, you know, there's light or whatever. Just so it catches people's eyes more. I don't know. Maybe it worked. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm new to this. So we have two colors left, and this is 843. I thought we already had 843. 845, 846, 844. So, and this one is eye white. I have one viewer, I think. It's probably me, though. I'm probably talking to myself this whole time. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's a very pearly color. And finally, lastly, we have 848. And this is interference green. Which I'm sure this has a place, like, you know, water droplets on leaves or something. That is pretty though. So, the violet one, from my perspective, is a green color. The blue is a yellow color. The red one's another green color, but a different shade of green. And then the green one's a pink color. But when I look on camera, the red is red, the blue. So it's got to be the angle. And so I guess I got to start taking that into account when I'm painting. Anyway, there are my things, and I am 7 minutes late for work, so I know I'm going to get pinged by my client any moment. Well, I will leave you here, and I only work for like an hour. Well, I work like 8 to 12 hours a day, but I have mandatory work for an hour, and then I take a lunch break. So I get up like 2 o'clock in the morning and work, and then I take a break right before my client's job so that my mind is fresh. Sometimes I have other clients. Right now I only have one client, but when I have clients, I actually pencil them in so they have their own time slots. There we go. So it has been fun, and I will clean up my mess, and we will figure that out later. If you like these bookmarks, rulers, I got them like in a 4-pack, and I don't know where the other one is, on Amazon. So they're really fun. They're metal, and they're very thin, but they're metal, and they're bookmarks, and they're stencils, and they're rulers. So they're kind of fun, and they only cost like $2 or $3. So anyway, that is that. Now we're gonna hang our stuff to dry. The one issue I have with pearlescent colors or mica colors is now that water's not usable with my other paints. I mean, other people may be okay with mixing the paints, but I'm like really particular, and I'm impatient, so my problem is having to wait for one thing to dry before I start another. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm a bad person, I guess. Anyway, so we are going to see you guys later, probably around 1-ish, noonish, because I'm going to take my lunch break, and then I'm going to come back to this. Yeah, because I need to get more sunshine, and I need to take me time, even though I know this is technically me time, but it's not. So the reason I'm creating a brush roll-up is so that way when you dry these, you don't want to set them up this way because the water will run into the ferrule, which is this metal piece, and it'll destroy your brushes, and they'll just start coming apart. So I'm taking a bamboo sushi mat and sewing the appropriate pieces of cloth to it to make it so these set in there, and then you tie it and you turn it upside down so they hang to dry. It's brilliant. You can buy them like $10, but I didn't like the ones that were available. They all looked shoddy to me, and there were bad reviews, so I figured I'd just make my own. It's really simple, but I understand other people may not be so, yeah, like those are exactly like, other people may not be so lucky as to be able to sew. So I might, like when I finally get a website going, I might sell them, like make to order or something. So I'm going to have to label this since this is my shimmer cup. Because that shimmer will now never come out of there. And I had the problem with my other stuff too. So, in the meantime, these, I have a problem with them. Now they need to dry away from kitty mouths. Because kitties will eat them. So, what I tend to do is I put them in like tissue roll holder. This. And then you take tomorrow's tissue, or a bandana, or a piece of cloth, or whatever, and you stuff it in here and stuff them against it so they can't fall out. Well, they do, but maybe you need a little more paper. Yep, there's my client. Where are you? Ready for you to edit my stuff. So I will be back, guys. So, and then like you just leave them tipped somewhere. But, oh, look, I got these messed up. These brushes are so soft. So, there we go. I'm going to pull this off and let you guys see it. If you pull the tape at an angle, you can get it off. Like I said, this is just a test anyway, so I'm not too worried about keeping this archival quality. There you go. That's what you're waiting for. So satisfying. Look at those colors. Talk to you later, guys. Toodles.